Well, hello there. Welcome back to another reading of Papa's comic books and coffee. That was easy. There's the coffee. Let's see if we can get this hooked up without making too much of a fuss. There we go. Looks like we're ready to go. And here we are. We're going to start with Marvel Comics Group, Marvel Spotlight on Captain Universe. Double Jeopardy. Double Jeopardy. This book, number 10, written in 1980, went for 50 cents. Writer was Bill Manto, and art by the one and only Mr. Steve Ditko. Seems to be about 30 pages long. All right. Also, if you're interested in this book, you can pick it up on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. It's for sale right now. Let's turn the page, as Bob Seger would say, and see what we have. Stanley presents Captain Universe. The Dodson sisters have found happiness, one in marriage, the other in her career, a nemesis, king of crime, and intend to destroy the happiness forever. Not if Captain Universe can help it, and help it we can. Double Jeopardy. Alrighty. Our story opens amidst the trial of progress in a Phoenix, Arizona courthouse. Miss Dodson, will you please tell the court the results of your investigation into the criminal activities of the defendants? Your Honor, I object. The criminality of my clients has not been established. It has been to every decent citizen of Phoenix. Objection overruled. You may respond to the District Attorney Stanford's question, Ms. Dodson. The atmosphere in the courtroom goes tense with expectation. That dame is the prosecution's key witness. Her testimony can ruin us. Nothing's going to happen to us, shyster. Yeah, the boss takes care of his own. My name is Claire Dodson. I am a private detective investigating attempts of organized crime to muscle in on local businesses. I discovered a shakedown scam perpetrated by those two men. Are you referring to the defendants, Mrs. Dodson? Yes, I am, Mrs. Stanford. But I am also referring to their mysterious boss, a criminal kingpin who calls himself Nemesis. These men are only stooges. It is Nemesis who is attempting to forge a criminal empire here in Phoenix. You shut up your mouth once too often, skirt. You may send us up the river, but Nemesis will see you swimming at the bottom of it with the fish. Order, order. With the subsequent presentation of Claire Dodson's evidence, the jury has no trouble reaching a decision. Well, you got your conviction, Edward. It was your evidence that sent those two little fish up the river, Claire, to use their metaphor. But their boss Nemesis still swims free. I'm worried. Psst, here they come now. Nemesis has set himself up as the crime kingpin of the entire Southwest. If he puts a contract out on you, you'll need protection. A squad of plainclothesmen shading a private eye? I'd have a hard time poking through other people's dirty laundry that way. Besides, Nemesis won't dare touch me, not while my brother-in-law is the Phoenix District Attorney. I've learned that it's useless to argue with your sister-in-law. You'll always do what you want anyway. Will we see you at the house tonight? Anne is making us dinner to celebrate the closing of the trial. Is that all my sister can contribute to our war on crime? I'll be there, Edward. But no sooner has Claire pulled away, not a peep out of you, pal. Now move nice and slow. They got the DA. You're mad. You can't get away with kidnapping the district attorney right off the courthouse steps. We get paid to take chances. Paid? Paid by whom? By our boss. He left instructions for us to pick you up if the trial went the wrong way. Congratulations, Mr. District Attorney. You just won yourself an appointment with Nemesis. Wow, I like to get all these gifts myself. Later that evening, Claire docks and parks her sleek convertible before the suburban home of her sister and brother-in-law. I tried to call Edward to apologize for my crack about Anne, but his secretary hadn't seen him since the trial. I love my twin sister. Maybe I even envy her relationship with Edward. But I also see the life she's built, the happy home, the beautiful kids, as a trap enticing her, keeping her from a career. The drapes. A strange hand, a furtive movement from within is all it takes to arouse Claire's detective instincts. Something's wrong. At that moment, inside the Stanford home, the dame stopped in the middle of the walk. You think she saw you? Nah, she probably forgot her compact. Held at gunpoint, Claire's sister Anne Stanford tries not to let her children sense her own fears. Mommy, why do these men want Aunt Claire? I don't know, Jenny. Where's Dad? He'd kick him out of here. Daddy will be here soon, Johnny. Oh, Edward, hurry home. We need you. Keep these three quiet. We don't want them warning the frail. In desperation, Ann Dodson Stanford cast about for a way in which to warn her sister. Claire and I are twins. As kids, whenever one of us was hurt or in trouble, the other always knew about it. Some kind of sixth sense. I haven't reached her out to her yet in years, but maybe if I concentrate. Well, outside, I want to go forward, but something's stopping me. A sense of dread. It's coming from my twin sister, Anne. She's trying to tell me that she and the kids are in trouble. That hand I saw at the window, there are hoods holding her. Claire Dotson has been in this desperate situation before. They come with her job, but this one involves her family. If she walks in, she may die. If she walks away, her sister surely will. She has no choice. But she will not enter the trap as meekly as a lamb going to the slaughter. I've got to act natural, as if I suspect nothing's wrong. That's important. I can't risk making the scum who are holding my sister edgy. Ding dong! Oh, Claire! No, go away! Mommy, I'm scared. Okay, she's at the door. You know what to do. Yeah, shut her mouth permanently. She'll never testify against Nemesis again. Crash comes through the window. That's where you're wrong, creep. The dame tricked us, Drew. Our attention to the door. Claire, you invited me for dinner, didn't you, sister? Well, I brought along some .38 caliber hors d'oeuvres. Quick, Ann, while I keep these goons off balance. Grab the kids and get out through the kitchen. Well, what about you, Claire? I'll be doing what I do best. That dame's a crack shot. You're in my way. I can't get a beat on her. These gunzels were waiting for me, but only Ann's husband knew I'd accept the invitation to dinner. That means they kidnapped Edward, or worse. In the kitchen, Johnny, Jenny, run next door. Ask Mrs. Roberts to phone the police. But what about you, Mommy? I have the art of John Byrne. Marvel Comics. Join the official Star Wars fan club. It doesn't cost you a penny. I've got to help your Aunt Claire. Racing back towards her living room, Ann Dodson Stanford arrives in time to see her sister in deadly danger. Claire's overcome the three gangsters inside the house, but there's another one with a gun outside the shattered window. No time to warn her. I've got to act. But I'm just a housewife. What can I possibly... What is happening? There is nothing Ann Stanford can do, but even as she reaches instinctively for something to hurl, both sisters are suddenly surrounded by a field of fluctuating force. The detective dame, something's happening to her. That broad is glowing, so bright I can't keep my eyes open. No. But if I shoot in her general direction, in Ann's hand, the aerosol window cleaner sprays forth in a most uncharacteristic manner. A steady stream of glowing particles surrounding the would-be hitman, encasing him with an impenetrable energy cocoon. It is only then that the two twin sisters realize that they have changed. And we're Captain Universe. That name, it just popped into my head, Claire. What are we? It's going to sound insane, Anne, but I think we've gained some kind of amazing powers. You know, like the Avengers or the Fantastic Four, whom we sometimes see on the news. With the force we now command, we've got to save Edward. Save Edward from what, Claire? Edward and I successfully convicted 2 members of the Nemesis gang this morning. We were warned he might try to strike back at us. You knew that, and you challenged him anyway? Why? Because stopping crime is my job, and your husband's, Anne. Come here, pretty boy. I've some questions to ask, and I've got a hunch you got the answers. I ain't saying nothing. With your grammar, that's probably a blessing. I want to know what you know about District Attorney Stanford's disappearance. Talk. Without knowing quite how or why, Claire's eyes begins to glow, bathing the gaping gangster in a beam of light. You're giving me the 3rd degree? It's called Univision, scum. Nemesis has the DA. That's all I know. Ask Rooney. I will. How do you know he isn't lying? I can't explain how the Univision made him tell the truth, any more than I can explain how I was able to lift him with one hand. It's the Unipower. I guess it comes with the costume. I still don't understand. The police are here. Hey, earn valuable prizes. Claire, did you know that thug meant ask Rooney? Mike Rooney runs a sleazy gym in downtown Phoenix. He's been linked to the Nemesis gang. But where are you running to, Anne? The police. They'll hold us up with questions. My kids are safe next door. I've got to use these powers I've been given to save my husband. Is this my meek housewife sister? As the Phoenix police race up to the front door, ladies, we got a phone call about Holy. They're flying. We aren't. There are 3 gangsters inside, officers. We're going to look for their boss. Isn't this DA Stanford's house? Whatever do you just don't let those dames at us again? Yeah, and look here, part of the Nemesis gang. As the twin Captain Universes take to the night sky, it is Claire who turns, and I know my sister, no matter how upset she might be, she wouldn't want to leave her house a mess. With the smallest application of her Unipower, Claire repairs the damage to her sister's house, the window. Ha! We sure astounded those poor policemen almost as much as we astounded ourselves. Isn't this absolutely incredible, Anne? Wake up and look. Up, Phoenix. You'll believe a woman can fly. Stop it, Claire. We can play with our newfound powers after we save my husband. I'm sorry, Anne. It's just that I feel so free. I know, Claire. Yes, you do know. The same way we knew things about each other as kids that no one else could ever know. We're twins, Claire. The Unipower has heightened our natural empathy. Sensing the depth of her sister's concern over the safety of her husband, Claire heads downtown. Rooney is just a small potatoes man, but if he's connected with Nemesis, he's bound to be surrounded by some serious muscle. He can surround himself with Hadrian's Wall if he wants to, sister. I won't keep him safe from Captain Universe. Amen, sister. We're on page 16. Inside the dingy, dimly lit gymnasium, Mike Rooney holds court over a grunting consortium of sweating wrestlers. We should be hearing what happened at the Stanford house real soon now. Sooner than you think, Rooney. Your boys asked me to deliver a singing telegram. Will 3 bars of The Party's Over do? Beat it, babe. I don't work with lady wrestlers. It isn't a workout I want, Rooney. It's information about Nemesis. You look like a smart girl, so I'm going to give you advice. Don't mention that name around here. It ain't healthy. Is that your prescription, Dr. Rooney? I'd like a second opinion. From Nemesis? You should have listened, lady. Now you're going to have to take your shots. Muscle medicine. Huh, Rooney? Well, I learned enough about self-defense in my previous line of work that I could probably take you out your stable without unipowers. Probably, but having them sure makes it easier. Not to mention, more fun. That bimbo's taking on my best boys and winning. I gotta warn Nemesis. Going somewhere, Mr. Rooney? How can you be in two places at once? What? Oh, you must have confused me with my sister. But neither of us really belongs in a pigsty like this. Here, let me clean it up for you. What are you, floor wax? I'm sliding right at you. And you've got it all wet, Mr. Rooney. Tisk, I guess I'll have to forget about mopping up and hang you out to dry instead. Help! As Anne turns to aid Claire, she finds herself facing one of Rooney's trainers. My, now I know they call them sweatsuits. You ought to let me launder it for you. You just touched me and suddenly I'm stiff as a board. Oh dear, did I add too much starch? Despite my superpowers, I can't help thinking and acting like an ordinary housewife. So much dust. I'll just whip up a white tornado of my own and blow it all away. Anne also sends a blinding dust storm at the thugs surrounding her sister. Can't see, can't breathe. Let's beat it. Trying to skip out. Sorry, boys, but you've reached the end of your rope. Sister, you were sensational. So were you, sister, but we still don't know where Edward is. What are you going to do to me? We'll find out soon. Just give you a little lie detector test. Rooney, Captain Universe's style. Bathed in the Univision's glow, Rooney spills all he knows about Nemesis. Soon after, the sisters again take to the air. Ah, it's good to breathe sweet, fresh, free air. Where are we going now, Claire? To find your husband and to free him from Nemesis at the Phoenix Drive-In. Great cover, huh? An open-air movie theater patronized nightly by the public? But in reality, the hideout of the Nemesis gang. You'll learn fast, Anne. Let's go. But we're flying right towards the screen. The twin Captain Universes soar at the shimmering silver screen. Hey, what's happening? Actually, we're heading for the building behind the screen, Anne. Ooh, look who that is. I know that guy. Nemesis, we've come for you. Two flying females crashing through the screen. The Nemesis, who are they? The police reports we mentioned said our rubout and the Stanford house had been aborted by two women. That must be them. Right on target, Nemesis, which is more than I can say for your gunzels. Imagine letting them shoot up such an expensive silverware. Some crooks just have no respect for the finer things in life. Look out! This one looks like an easier mark. Let's take her. Sorry to upset your plans, gentlemen, but you've just had the rug pulled out from beneath you. No superpowered females are going to get to the drop on Nemesis, gang. I've got to save Claire that's from that serving cart. Hey, dinner's served, sister. I wish I could compliment the chef, sister. But the gunzel's too tough. He needs a unit power tenderizer. Nice work, sister. Same to you, sister. You ladies got a real mutual admiration society going. I think maybe we'll just bust up the club. Oh dear, I'm always plagued with more men than I know what to do with. Here, sister, you take them and get them off my back. Not I, sister. I'm happily married, remember? Besides, your playmates are much too messy. I've got to use the unipower to clean them up. What do you do with the vacuum cleaner? It's holding me like a magnet. It will keep you out of trouble. While I go after your boss. Claire says that Nemesis is the most dangerous man in the state, but I must catch him if I'm to find my husband. He seems to want to follow him down the corridor. Oh, now I see why. A trap, and I flew into it. Although it looks like I may have to swim out. As the airtight corridor fills with water, Anne Stanford begins to panic. Claire's the detective. She's been in trouble before. She'd know how to get herself out. I'm only a housewife, a mother. I don't know what to do. Claire. Anne, my sister's in trouble. So strong is the unipower, heightened, emphatic bond between the two twins that Claire instinctively knows where to look for Anne. Holy, she tore down that foot-thick steel door with her bare hands. Released from their containment, the waters flood the hideaway. You do it at high school? Free comic list? What do you want? Want some Pez candy? Marvel Comics, 1981. Carrying the remnants of the Nemesis gang out into the night. I've heard of 3D movies, but this is ridiculous. While back inside the criminal's headquarters, are you all right, sis? Now I am. I'm so sorry I panicked. You're out of your element, Anne. Using the unipower to bash these thugs is more in my line. I'm not a fighter, Claire. Maybe that's my problem. I let Edward do all of the fighting for me, and now that he's in trouble, I have to suddenly become more aggressive. You're doing the fine, sister. Let's search, I guess they mean search, this place for your husband. I already did. He's not here, which means Nemesis must have taken Edward with him. Soaring outside, the sisters begin their pursuit. Nemesis must be holding Edward hostage. I hope so, Anne. I pray so. But there's always the possibility that Nemesis may have already slain your husband for revenge. I wish I could spare you that. Anne, up ahead, the car on the highway. From the way in which this is speeding away from this drive-in theater, I'm betting Nemesis at the wheel. Maybe Edward is with him as hostage. We'll know soon enough. Alone in the getaway car, the masked crime king thinks he had made a good escape. Blast it. Those women exposed my operation, but at least no one knows who I am. I'll go into hiding and emerge again elsewhere. Not after my husband sends you to prison, Nemesis. Anne, look out. He's not slowing down. Oh, Anne, screech, crash. Claire, what happened? I don't know, Anne, and Nemesis was coming right at you when suddenly he veered off the highway. You take care of Nemesis, sister. I've got to go find my husband. Claire, he's not here. Edward's not here. Yes, he is, Anne. He's here. What do you... Edward, why couldn't you stay home, Anne? Safe with the kids behind the apron. Where you belong. It's your snooping sister I wanted to kill, not you. Edward, darling. What are you saying? Don't play innocent, darling. Do you think we could afford to live as luxuriously as we do on the district attorney's salary? Crime is where the big money is. So you played both sides of the fence, running the rackets as a nemesis and prosecuting a few small fry to keep everyone off the scent? It worked until your investigations began to come too close. And you would have murdered my sister, your own sister-in-law? Would you rather have seen your husband go to prison? Yes, you are my husband, the father of my children, the man I always told them was trying to make a cleaner, better world for all of us. I trusted you, believed in you, and you took my nice, clean dreams and dragged them through the mud. The police are here, Anne. Let them have him. Hey, Captain America in Fury Unleashed. Numb from the night's revelations, the twin Captain Universes returned to Anne's home. I don't even know why I come back here. You came back because you had two beautiful kids who are going to need their mother, Anne. I've never been on my own before, Claire. I'm not like you. I don't know if I can make it without Edward. Knowing what you know, can you make it with him? No. Then you'll survive, sister. It can be a dirty world out there, I know. I wade through the filth every day, but I've learned one thing. If you stay strong, you can keep yourself clean. Claire, we're changing back. We're ourselves again, and I guess whatever it was that turned us into Captain Universe must think the job is done. Mommy, Johnny, Jenny. In a burst of brilliance. Where's Daddy? Isn't he coming home? No, kids. It's just us now. We're going to have to learn to be strong. Where are you now that Anne really needs the Unipower Captain Universe? Or maybe she doesn't. Perhaps Anne needs to rely on her now instinct, superpowers, but her own woman's strength. Who will get the Unipower next? It could be you. You. Buy this book, Doctor Strange. I love those things. Legos. And that concludes the reading of Captain Universe, Double Jeopardy. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, hit like, hit dislike, whatever you want to hit. Follow, subscribe, leave a comment. And as I said in the beginning, if you're interested in this book, it is available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good night. Until the next time, adios.